Throughout the history of football, few names stand out as much as Cristiano Ronaldo. His journey, from a humble boy from Madeira to becoming the best player in the world, is a story of sacrifice, talent, and determination. This is the story of Cristiano Ronaldo, the icon, the athlete, the man. Cristiano Ronaldo dos Santos Aveiro was born on February 5, 1985, in Funchal, on Madeira Island, Portugal. Raised in a modest family with 3 brothers, young Cristiano grew up under the care of his mother, Dolores Aveiro, and his father, José Diniz Aveiro, who worked as a gardener and janitor at a local club. Cristiano has always been different. From a very young age, he was obsessed with football. While the other boys wanted to play, he wanted to train, kick the ball all the time. Ronaldo's family didn't have many resources, but that never stopped young Cristiano from dreaming big. He played football on the streets of Madeira and quickly attracted attention with his natural talent. At just 8 years old, Cristiano joined the amateur club Andorinha, where his father also worked. It was there that the first signs of greatness began to appear.
Eu queria ser alguém no futebol. Comecei a jogar futebol no Andorinha. O meu pai, na altura, era roupeiro do Andorinha. Fiquei alguns anos no Andorinha, depois fui para o Nacional, era das melhores equipas na Madeira.
At the age of 11, he was already playing for CD Nacional, one of the biggest clubs on the island. His technique and skill quickly stood out, leading him to pursue even bigger dreams. Cristiano was tireless. He trained more than anyone. Even after training, he spent more time on the field, perfecting every detail of his game. At the age of 12, Cristiano made the most difficult decision of his life. He left his family and moved to Lisbon, where he was accepted into Sporting's academy. The distance from home was a challenge, but he was determined to become the best. At Sporting, he began to show signs of unusual talent. Cristiano was not just talented, he had a different mentality. He always wanted more, always sought to improve. That was what set him apart from everyone else. At just 16 years old, Cristiano was already playing for Sport's main team. His performances caught the attention of international scouts, and Ronaldo's name quickly began to be discussed among Europe's giants. It was clear that he would not stay in Portugal for long. He had something special, a combination of speed, strength, and technique that we rarely see in such young players. In 2003, at just 18 years old, Cristiano Ronaldo was signed by Manchester United at the request of Sir Alex Ferguson. The young Portuguese was now on one of the biggest stages in world football, ready to show the world his talent.
Well, it's an opinion, obviously, that of the 100 managers in the world be saying, oh, my player, my player, my player. We have this exaggeration about world-class player is, but then you take, well, the reason I say about Messi and Ronaldo, the consistency, first of all, their balance, their excellence on the ball, their courage. They're never, ever dented by a tackle. They get up, give me the ball. The goals they score, the level they're playing at, the medals they've won, it only points to one thing. Those two players, and I think most players in the world, probably everyone would agree with me, these two guys are above everyone. There's no question about that. Fantastic to watch, and they never miss a game. They never see me miss a game. I think probably they miss 1 or 2 games, but they play all the time. They're giving value to everyone in the world. They're playing all the time.
Is one better than the other, or are these two simply the very best?
Ronaldo's my boy.
Ronaldo's time at Manchester United was historic. He helped the club win major titles, and in 2008, he was crowned with his first Ballon d'Or, recognizing him as the best player in the world. He was tireless in training. His dedication was absurd. No matter how many awards he won, he always wanted more. Cristiano Ronaldo is not just a football player. He is a global phenomenon. His dedication to the sport and his family is an example that hard work and passion can take someone to the top of the world. From a humble boy from Madeira, he became one of the greatest athletes of all time.
Acontece que é pai e tem um filho.
Mas chegou aí da escola agora.
Aí chegou da escola.
Aí é o artista.
Olha, vem cá no instante, pá. Ainda por cima está super-homem. É, pá, isto é o maior elogio que pode fazer ao pai, estar super-homem. Sabias que tens um pai super-homem, não é? Ora, fica aqui ao pé do pai. Bom, e agora pergunto o seguinte. E como é que vai ser educar este jovem?
Um beijinho, agora arranca para ali.
Isto é uma grande aposta, hein? Uma grande aposta. Mas é mais tímido.
Deixa horas para aparecer.
É mais tímido.
Cristiano Ronaldo's story is an inspiration to millions. His trajectory of sacrifice, overcoming, and success is a testimony that any dream, no matter how big it may be, can be achieved. This was the journey of the boy from Madeira who became the best in the world. Lewis Hamilton is not just a name in Formula One. He is synonymous with speed, talent, and determination. But his journey to becoming the greatest driver in history goes beyond the track. It is a story of overcoming, fighting against prejudice, and redefining sport. This is Lewis Hamilton, the king of Formula One. Lewis Carl Davidson Hamilton was born on January 7th, 1985, in Stevenage, a small town about 50 kilometers from London. Son of Anthony Hamilton, of Caribbean origin, and Carmen Larbalestia, of British origin, Lewis grew up in a humble family, far from the privileges commonly associated with elite sport. But from a young age, he had one passion: speed.
My brother is the best driver because he's fast. And one day he's going to be in Formula 1.
I grew up in racing. My first car was remote control, and even though I was only 4, I already had a competitive streak. I mean, look at me. Have you ever seen a more intense kid? I started karting when I was 8. And to be honest, it started out as a hobby. Something for my dad and I to do together. At night after work, he would be in the garage working on the car. I mean, he gave up everything for me.
Got it right.
But it was his support that made me feel like I could do anything.
Imagine being in a Formula 1 car. Must be very powerful, that.
I wouldn't be a 4-time world champion if it wasn't for my dad. He taught me that if you want something, You need to go after it and never give up.
At the age of 8, Lewis Hamilton began racing karts with the tireless support of his father, who worked.
At just 12 years old, Lewis Hamilton has made racing history. He's won 2 major junior championship titles. Already, people in the know are saying he's got what it takes to become a Formula One racing driver. His brother Nick is his biggest fan. His life. Every weekend, they head for race meetings across the country. It's an expensive sport that can cost hundreds of thousands of pounds. Lewis does have sponsorship now, but when he started out, his dad struggled to pay the bill for his first kart.
It took me a long time to get that £1,000, and after his first race, I knew I was in trouble and needed more money, so I then picked up some other jobs, some odd jobs. One of them was dishwashing, and one of them was putting up signboards for a local estate agent, which didn't pay much, but it all helped.
Champion at the time, aged just 23.
The slipstream. I think he might well have. He got better drive, better acceleration out of the slower corners. This could be the lead going for Hamilton.
In 2013, Lewis Hamilton made the decision of his career. He left McLaren and joined the Mercedes team. A risky move that would forever change the landscape of Formula One. With Mercedes, Hamilton didn't just win, he dominated. Between 2014 and 2020, he won 6 world titles, equaling and then surpassing many of the sport's historic records. In 2020, Lewis Hamilton surpassed Michael Schumacher's record of 91 Formula One victories, solidifying his legacy as the greatest winner in the history of the sport. But its impact goes far beyond statistics. In addition to his achievements on the track, Hamilton has also become a powerful voice off the track. He has been a tireless advocate for racial equality, the environment, and animal rights, using his platform to drive meaningful social change.
Every black kid in the world will at some stage experience racism. It's just a fact. When people call you names and the N-word's thrown around, when you're told to go back to your own country, when you're in your own country, there are literally millions and millions of people who will have experienced much, much worse, and that needs to change.
In 2020, Hamilton used his influence to support the Black Lives Matter movement, pressuring Formula One to address racism and promoting inclusion initiatives. Lewis Hamilton is not just the greatest Formula One driver of all time. He is a cultural icon. His legacy transcends sport, inspiring millions around the world with his story of perseverance, talent, and activism. At 39 years old, Hamilton continues to compete at a high level, but his vision goes beyond the track. He has already started investing in sustainable initiatives, electric cars, and even cinema, showing that his impact on the world is just beginning. Lewis Hamilton, the king of Formula One, is not just a race-winning driver. It is a symbol of overcoming, change, and hope for a better world. Her story is a testament that with talent, hard work, and courage, anyone can overcome barriers and rewrite their own destiny.
Another thing opens up for him!
In 2024, the world came together once again to celebrate human excellence, the spirit of competition, and the unity of nations at the Paris Olympic Games. But the Olympics are much more than just competitions. They are made up of unforgettable stories, epic achievements, and athletes who leave their mark on history. These are the best moments from the 2024 Olympic Games. The Paris Games began with a spectacle worthy of its rich history. The City of Lights shone like never before, welcoming the world to witness moments of greatness. The opening ceremony, held on the banks of the River Seine, was a tribute to art, culture, and global unity. But the real Olympic flame was in the hearts of the athletes, ready to write their own stories of glory. Olympics' opening ceremony tableau sparks controversy. While the theatrical opening ceremony of the 2024 Paris Olympics provided memorable moments, one scene from the performance provoked mixed reactions. In one scene, drag queens and dancers were lined up at a long table. In an image that sparked controversy after some linked the moment to Leonardo da Vinci's portrait of Jesus Christ and his 12 apostles in The Last Supper. Although many considered the moment an inclusive celebration for the LGBTQ+ community, others took to social media to call the images mockery and insulting Christian people after the performance. On July 28th, Paris 2024 spokeswoman Anne Descamps apologized if people were offended in any way. In the Olympic pool, a star shone brighter. Australian Emma McKeon, already a swimming legend, returned to Paris in search of new records. With impeccable performances, she established herself as one of the greatest swimmers of all time. McKeon not only won the most medals, but also broke records, becoming the swimmer with the most Olympic medals in history. His excellence in the water was one of the great moments of the Paris Games. In athletics, all eyes were on Noah Lyles, the American sprinter who carried the weight of being the favorite on his shoulders. In the 200-meter final, Lyles did not disappoint. With impressive speed and impeccable technique, Lyles won gold, setting a new Olympic record. His victory was more than a personal triumph. It was a reaffirmation of the American legacy in speed. At the Paris 2024 Olympic Games, both Simone Biles and Rebecca Andrade left profound marks on artistic gymnastics, consolidating their legacies as two of the greatest gymnasts of all time. After facing personal challenges and partially withdrawing from competition after Tokyo 2020, Simone Biles returned to shine in Paris. Her journey was not just about gymnastics, but also about mental resilience and resilience. With a breathtaking performance, Biles not only won more gold medals, but also reaffirmed her position as one of the greatest gymnasts in history. Paris was the perfect stage for the gymnastics queen's triumphant return. Rebecca Andrade, the Brazilian star who made history at the 2021 Tokyo Olympics by winning gold in vault and silver in the all-around, arrived at Paris 2024 as one of the favorites. In Paris, Rebecca continued to shine and solidified her place among the great gymnastics stars. Norwegian Karsten Warholm was already a legend in athletics after breaking the world record in Tokyo. But in Paris, he reached new heights of excellence. With unparalleled technique, Warholm not only retained his Olympic title, but also broke the world record once again, cementing his position as the greatest 400-meter hurdles runner of all time. Armand Mondo Duplantis, the Swedish pole vaulting phenom, continued to impress the world at the Paris 2024 Olympic Games, further solidifying his position as one of the greatest athletes in athletics history. Duplantis was already a global sensation before Paris, having broken several world records and won gold at the Tokyo 2020 Olympic Games. From an early age, he demonstrated a natural talent for pole vaulting, a skill he inherited from his family. His father, Greg Duplantis, was an elite high jumper, and his mother, Helena, was a former heptathlete and volleyball player. Born in the United States and competing for his mother's native Sweden, Armand spent most of his youth perfecting his technique. He began breaking youth records as a teenager and, over the years, improved his technique to a level almost inaccessible to other competitors.
This would be the perfect way to bring down the curtain here on proceedings in the stadium.
2024 Olympics were also marked by the emergence of a new generation of athletes. Young promises from around the world showed that the future of the sport is in good hands. From the beaches of Tahiti to the urban arenas of Paris, new champions have emerged, bringing hope and excitement for the future of the Games. The Paris Games have come to an end, but the legacy of their moments will forever remain in the history of sport. These athletes didn't just compete, they inspired. They showed the world that, with determination, anything is possible. Paris 2024 was more than a competition. It was a testament to the power of sport to unite and inspire generations. These were the Paris 2024 Olympic Games, a celebration of humanity and the spirit of competition. A journey of dreams come true and new heroes established. On the streets of Akron, Ohio, a boy was born who carried the weight of the world before he even knew what it meant to win. He grew up without luxuries, with a single mother struggling every day. But basketball gave him something greater than survival. It gave him destiny. By the time he was a teenager, the world already knew his name. At St. Vincent St. Mary High School, LeBron wasn't just another talented kid. He was called the Chosen One. Magazine covers, national headlines, the weight of expectation. It was all there before he even played a single NBA game. In 2003, that destiny became reality. Drafted #1 overall by the Cleveland Cavaliers, the hometown hero stepped onto the court, carrying the hope of an entire city. And he delivered instantly. Points, highlights, and the kind of brilliance that made the league stop and stare. LeBron James wasn't just living up to the hype. He was creating something bigger.
They're past me. I mean, they say I'm the best player in the country, and I wanted to keep it that way for the next 2 years.
I always knew he was going to be good. I got to admit, never knew it was going to get this big, though.
James spent the summer showcasing his talents at various camps throughout the United States, but attracted nationwide attention for his dominating performance in mid-July at the ABCD camp in New Jersey.
I just wanted to play my game. My game is I can score, but I can pass too, and I can rebound. I can do so many things that can help my team win, and that's what I did.
It was also during that camp that stories began to surface about James hoping to become the first to leave high school early and turn pro. But as he prepares to enter his junior season here at St. Vincent St. Mary, he and his mother decided to set the record straight.
To squash it all, he's going to finish high school. Everything is coming fast enough. There's no need to rush it.
I never considered that. It wasn't even the thought. You really can't even do that. I don't want to go through that. I want to graduate with my class. I got 3 best friends at Drew, Willie, and Sheehan. And high school you can't come back to. And prom you can't come back to. I talked to Tracy McGrady when I was in New Jersey, and he just told me a lot of things that just inspired me. Like, when you get out on the court, you got no friends. And when I get out on the court, sometimes I underestimate who I'm playing against because they might be on the same level as me. But he told me that it don't matter who you playing, you just gotta kill them. And that's what I'm coming into the year next year with. And, whoever we play, I'm coming out.
But greatness is never without struggle. In 2007, he dragged a young Cavaliers team all the way to the NBA Finals, only to be swept by the San Antonio Spurs. It was a harsh reminder. Talent alone doesn't guarantee championships. For years, LeBron battled, but Cleveland couldn't give him the pieces he needed. The promise was there, but the rings were not. Then came the moment that changed everything. 2010. A television special. 4 simple words. I'm taking my talents to South Beach. With that, the basketball world erupted. Fans in Cleveland burned his jersey. Critics called him a traitor. But for LeBron, it was never betrayal. It was evolution. He wanted to win. In Miami, alongside Dwyane Wade and Chris Bosh, LeBron transformed. The pressure was suffocating, but the results spoke louder. Back-to-back championships in 2012 and 2013. Finals MVPs. Dominance on a level that forced even the harshest critics to acknowledge what they were witnessing. LeBron James was no longer just the chosen one. He was a proven champion. But the story was far from over. In 2014, he made a decision few thought possible: to return to Cleveland, this time with a mission. In 2016, that mission became legend. Down 3-1 against the record-breaking Golden State Warriors, LeBron delivered one of the greatest comebacks in sports history. A chase-down block that will live forever. A championship for a city that had waited 52 years. LeBron James had finally brought a title home. The chapters kept coming. In 2018, he moved west to the Los Angeles Lakers, embracing yet another challenge. And in 2020, under the most extraordinary circumstances, the NBA bubble, a global pandemic, he raised another trophy. A 4th championship, another Finals MVP, another reminder that his story was still being written. Year after year, LeBron has defied time itself. In his late 30s, he broke the all-time NBA scoring record, a feat many thought untouchable. His name now sits at the top of history's most sacred list. Yet his impact reaches beyond the hardwood. LeBron built schools for children who shared the same struggles he once faced. He spoke out when silence was easier. He became not just a symbol of excellence, but of responsibility, of leadership, of hope. From the streets of Akron to the throne of basketball royalty, LeBron James has embodied what it means to rise above circumstances, to shoulder the weight of expectation, and to redefine greatness on his own terms. This is not just the journey of an athlete, it is the journey of a leader, a father, an icon, a legend. LeBron James, from chosen to champion, from Akron to eternity. In the heat of Compton, California, where dreams are often silenced before they begin, a young girl picked up a tennis racket and decided her story would be different. Serena Williams was never meant to follow the path that others had written for her. She was destined to write her own. Raised by her father, Richard Williams, and guided by the fierce love of her mother, Oracine, Serena and her sister Venus trained on cracked public courts surrounded by noise, struggle, and doubt. To the world, they were outsiders, but to their family, they were the future. From the beginning, Serena was underestimated, too powerful, too emotional, too different. But those same qualities would soon become her greatest strengths. Her journey to the top wasn't built on privilege or luck. It was forged through resilience, pain, and relentless willpower. In 1999, the world took notice. At just 17 years old, Serena Williams won her first Grand Slam at the US Open, defeating legends and making history as one of the youngest champions ever. The world had officially met the future of tennis, and she wore beads, confidence, and unapologetic power. But greatness comes with pressure.
Yes.
What do you want to be when you grow up?
Tennis player. I would like to be a tennis player.
If there's something else you wanted to be, what would it be?
A veterinarian. I think I'd be an archaeologist.
Really?
Yes.
What interests you about archaeology?
Mostly dinosaur bones, and then after that would be Indian civilization.
Pretty unusual career. If you were a tennis player, who would you want to be like?
Well, I like other people to be like me.
That's a good answer.
The match was over with, and they was giving this young lady $40,000 because she won the tournament. And I figured since I worked for $52,000 all year, and this girl make $40,000 in 4 days, I knew I was in the wrong business. These girls, they're not developed physically nor mentally. They're not ready to play, and it haven't worked yet. And the third reason they shouldn't come out that early, it's too hard on the families. It tears the family to pieces. And we are a great family. And with bringing the girls out late or later, it'll be better all around for the family, for the girls, for tennis. So in our case, we'll come out later.
What do you think is the best bit of your game?
The best part of my game? Go ahead. You want to go? Yeah. I think it would be my return serves or my backhand.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is that something you're working on at the moment?
Injuries, criticism, racism,
My
doubt.
backhand down line.
Through every challenge, Serena stood tall.
Yeah.
While others tried to define her, she kept rewriting the script. Her serve became the most feared weapon in the sport, her mental strength unmatched, her confidence unshakable. Then came dominance, pure, undeniable dominance. Australian Open, Wimbledon, US Open, French Open, again and again. Serena didn't just win titles, she crushed barriers. 23 Grand Slam singles titles, the most by any player in the Open era. Each trophy, not just a victory, but a message. She belonged here. Beyond the numbers, Serena changed what it meant to be a woman in sport. She redefined strength and beauty. She showed that power and grace could coexist. She embraced her identity as a black woman in a sport that wasn't built for her. And in doing so, she opened the door for generations to come. Off the court, Serena became something greater, a mother, an entrepreneur, a voice. When she returned to tennis after giving birth, critics doubted her once again. But Serena's response was simple: play, compete, fight. And she did. Reaching Grand Slam finals as a new mother, proving once again that limits are illusions. She faced controversy, heartbreak, and moments of vulnerability. But each one only added depth to her story. Serena Williams didn't chase perfection, she chased purpose. And when she finally said goodbye to professional tennis, the world stood still. Because we weren't just watching the end of a career, we were witnessing the closing chapter of one of the most powerful human stories in sport. Serena Williams taught the world that greatness is not about never falling. It's about rising every single time. That success has no template. That power is beautiful. From the cracked courts of Compton to the grass of Wimbledon, from doubt to dominance, from prodigy to legend. This is the journey of Serena Williams, a woman who changed tennis, a woman who changed sport, a woman who changed what was possible. Serena Williams, the power, the purpose, the legacy. In Bondy, a small suburb of Paris, a young boy ran through the streets with a ball at his feet, faster than anyone could imagine. That boy was Kylian Mbappé. Long before the world shouted his name, he whispered it to himself, not with arrogance, but with faith. Faith that one day the world would see what he already knew deep inside. That greatness was not a coincidence, it was a choice. His parents taught him discipline, humility, and love. His father, a coach, his mother, a former handball player. They didn't raise a prodigy, they raised a worker, someone who believed that talent gets you noticed, but work keeps you remembered.
On regarde dans l'histoire, les meilleurs, c'était des Noirs et des Arabes. À part Platini, Cantona et tout.
As a kid, He had posters of Cristiano Ronaldo on his wall. He didn't just admire him, he studied him. Every movement, every celebration, every decision. He was preparing for a future he could already see. At just 17, the world took notice. A teenager lighting up Monaco, tearing through defenses like it was destiny. And maybe it was. He became a symbol of hope for every kid who grew up with more dreams than resources, for every soul who dared to believe that their background doesn't define their ceiling.
Surtout le fait d'être ensemble, le fait d'être tous ensemble dans une bonne humeur. Voilà, c'est bien avant de préparer l'entraînement.
When Paris Saint-Germain came calling, it wasn't just a transfer, it was a statement. A boy from Bondy representing Paris, his city, his people, his story. The pressure was enormous. The world expected perfection. And still, he smiled. Because pressure doesn't break diamonds, it creates them. Then came 2018, Russia, the World Cup, and the moment that changed everything. At 19, Kylian Mbappé became a world champion. Not by chance, not by luck, but by preparation meeting opportunity. He became the youngest French player ever to score in a World Cup final, since a legend named Pelé. In that instant, a boy became a hero became a leader, and a leader became a symbol for France, for football, for an entire generation. But success brings shadows. With fame came criticism, pressure, doubt. People questioned his decisions, his loyalty, his ego. They forgot that behind the superstar, there's still that kid from Bondy who just wants to play football. And yet, every time he falls, he rises higher. Every time he's doubted, he answers on the pitch, with goals, with vision, with leadership, because Mbappé doesn't run away from challenges. He runs through them. In 2022, in Qatar, he faced heartbreak, a World Cup final that slipped away by inches. But in that pain, the world saw something even greater than victory. Resilience. A hat trick in a World Cup final, an entire nation on his shoulders. And even in defeat, he stood tall. Because true winners aren't defined by trophies, but by their response to loss. He walked off that pitch with his head held high, not as a loser, but as a legend reborn. And now, with every match, with every record broken, Kylian Mbappé writes a story that inspires millions. He represents more than football. He represents belief. He represents the idea that your dreams are valid, no matter where you come from. He's not just chasing greatness, he's redefining it. Throughout this season, we've witnessed stories of resilience, ambition, and triumph. Cristiano Ronaldo, who turned rejection into glory. Athletes who stood up when life knocked them down. And now, Mbappé, the living embodiment of the new generation of winners. Each story different, each journey unique, but one truth unites them all. They never stopped believing. Greatness isn't about how far you've come. It's about how much further you're willing to go. The winner's journey isn't just about athletes. It's about dreamers, fighters, believers. It's about the fire that keeps you moving when no one is watching. The moments of doubt that shape your destiny. And the courage to stand tall, even when the world tells you to sit down. Kylian Mbappé once said, "You should always believe in your dreams, because if you don't, no one else will." And that's the message we leave you with. The journey never really ends. It evolves. Just like the champions who write their names in history. From the streets of Bondy to the stadiums of the world. From the first kick to the final whistle. This is the story of those who never gave up. Because at the heart of every legend, there's a human being who dared to dream. This is the winner's journey, and it's only the beginning. I'm the voice of those who rise again. And you are the next winner.